The funny story is that my first day in uni, my first accounting, ECC 101, I'll never forget. I will never forget this day. As soon as the woman said debit and credit, I told myself that I hate this stuff. And I would never do this. You earn money and then one day you ask yourself like, wait, what have I actually done with the money?
Yeah.
So I started having a lot of that, like, wait, I've been earning all this money, I cannot, I don't have anything to show for it. So yeah, serious financial debts that I couldn't come out of easily. So after I came out of that,
Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Finance Chat with Maryam. And today I have a friend as a guest. His name is Fadli. And how did I miss Fadli again? I think it was at the games. I think it was at the games. Is that how we met?
we met because we were living a demon together, I think.
Yeah, but I came to the games once, no? Did I know you before the games or?
No, I think we met from the demon group.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting. It's true. We used to live at a city together that we both no longer live in.
What happened to demon now?
we both no longer live in. But anyways, that's by the side. It was late, by the way. How was your week?
Depends on who you ask.
How was your week?
My week was good, actually.
What
It
did you
was
do?
good. A lot of self-reflection.
What are you
Are
reflecting
you wondering
on?
now? Yeah, my week was nice. About my life, job, everything. Yeah, it was nice.
So what did you not decide? Do you want to resign?
Not really. I think I'm beginning to enjoy my work more since this week. And I pray
why?
it stays the same because then next week it could be...
What changed?
I don't know. I think it was more repurposing my life, like understanding that my job is just a job and then I have more purpose than job. I think gaining that understanding.
Oh, that your job is not exactly
Yeah.
about you as a person.
Yeah. So
Exactly.
my job is like compartmentalizing my job, basically, yes.
And what do you do?
I work as a technical project manager or solutions architect.
Please, can you explain that to a 5-year-old?
Oh, wow. So basically, you know how you go to a restaurant and there is the menu, which is why you're in the restaurant, the food itself. And then there is your table. And then there is the waiter that comes to ask you what you want and then bring the food for you. I'm that waiter
Okay.
in tech. That's what I do.
You ask me like, what do you want? How do you want it? What do you like?
Exactly.
Okay.
But I'm a very good waiter. I'm not like the waiters that are rude. So I'm not just asking you what you want. I also try to customize your needs for you and make sure that it comes out well.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
How did you get into this career path?
Ooh, man. Funny enough, I actually studied accounting. Don't tell anyone.
I'm sorry, how did you go from studying accounting to becoming a waiter?
Yes, I studied accounting, and the funny story is that my first day in uni, my first accounting, ECC 101, I'll never forget. I will never forget this day. As soon as the woman said debit and credit, I told myself that I hate this stuff. And I would never do this. I'll never forget that. I remember the name of the lecturer, her full name. I remember the hall that I was for that lecture, everything. So yeah, so as soon as I left school, wrote my final papers, I knew that was the end for me.
So you still finished 4 years knowing that this is not what you wanted to. Why didn't you just change right away?
Yeah, I mean, I studied in Nigeria, so in Nigeria it's not easy to do transfers unless you want to go and start writing JAMB again, and nobody wants to do that. So I was like, yeah, let's stick it out. And it was also, sorry for anyone that I think you also studied accounting, so sorry to you as well, but accounting is kind of easy. It's very, very garbage in, garbage out. So I kind of got that after my first semester, and I was like, okay, this is going to be an easy way to actually enjoy university, hang out, do stuff, and then when it's time for exam, just blah, 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 blah. Get it done, quick.
Accounting is easy. I'm not taking it personal, but sure, if we say accounting is easy, let's say it.
But that was my experience, though.
It was so easy for you, just glaze through it.
Yeah, and I never did accounting in secondary school, so it was also new to me. But I found it
And what
pretty
did you graduate
straightforward.
school with?
Wow, are you ready for this?
Yeah.
4.3 over
So
5.
you graduated school with a first class?
Not first class. It
A
was
2-1.
close, yeah, but
It's
yeah.
not close. Either you got a first class or not.
It's close for me. Is it your close?
Yeah, yes, it's either you have a first class or not. So you finished school, and then what happened next?
So yeah, when I finished school, again, I remember very well, told my roommates that I was going to go become a teacher.
I'm sorry, like you want to be an accounting teacher?
No, I wanted to be like a high secondary school teacher.
Yeah.
So I made up my mind and I was going to go there to become a teacher. So as soon as I looked at my final papers, I went back home, met with my principal of my secondary school, and she was so happy to have me back, and then I became a teacher. Before NYSC even.
So
Yeah.
how long were you a teacher for?
I was a teacher for I think 2 terms. Then I had to go for NYSC, and I also became a teacher for
Yeah.
the same class because I already had experience. So after NYSC, while doing NYSC, that's when reality started hitting me. I was like, okay,
This teacher is not teaching.
exactly, you need money. In as much as you have passion, you also need to be earning in this Nigeria, you know. So I was like, okay, what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
I called my brother, my older brother. He was like, okay, like, to be honest with you, the quickest way to get a job in Nigeria is to work in a bank. Like, it's Nigerian banks that employ people without prior experience,
Yeah.
whatever. So I started doing that. So during NYSC, I got a job in Access Bank before I finished my NYSC.
Oh, that's nice.
So that's kind of like how I moved into corporate world, unfortunately.
Then when you started working in Access Bank,
Yeah, I worked in Access Bank as a account manager for 2 years or a year and a half, and then I moved to the data science team. That's how I moved into tech as a data analyst. And I did that for about a year. Then I got tired of that as well. I moved to boats. I actually started boats in Enugu, not as a driver, but as like working for the company
Yeah.
and launching their products in
Enugu.
State.
Yeah.
So I did that for about a year again. I got tired. Then thankfully I got a remote job in Nigeria for a US company
Yeah.
as a technical project manager. And that's how I kind of like from TPM then became a solutions architect. And
Was the career changes, did you find them easy? Not like from being a teacher to working in banking. It's more like working from the transfer from when you were working as an account manager to like
Yeah.
data science. Was that easy?
it was easy for me because it was an internal role. So back then, data science was like the rave. And Access Bank, I don't know if you know Access Bank very well. They always want to be on top of
Yeah.
things. So the CEO then, who is now late, may God rest his soul, he just said, hey guys, we want to start this data team. They brought someone from the US to head the new data analyst. And they were like, oh, if anyone is interested, then I just showed interest. We wrote an exam, I passed the exam, and that's how we created like a data science squad within Access Bank.
That's nice.
So it was really nice,
Okay,
easy
and then
path,
you got tired, you went to both and
yeah,
everything.
both, and then yeah.
And then from both, remote job, and then how did you end up here?
How did I end up here? Again, I always remember specifics. One day, I was driving to my village, because I'm a village boy, and police stopped us on the way.
Yeah.
So I usually go to village every weekend, because where I live in Owerri is not far from my village, it's like 30 minutes. So I know those police guys very well, but they just stopped us talking. And after I left that checkpoint, I just told myself that I want to leave this country.
Because police stopped you.
I cannot be explaining myself every single time. You know, there are so many things that I wanted to do. For example, I wanted to dye my hair. I wanted to have dreadlocks.
I remember the first time I met you, you had blonde hair.
Yes. And I couldn't do all those stuff because police in Nigeria. So as soon as I left that checkpoint, I was with my sister-in-law and I told her, yes, I'm already working remotely. Like, why not just go abroad and keep my job? Yeah. So that's how I started my Japa journey. I got a lot of admission, and then thankfully during that process of getting admission, I got a job in Netherlands.
And then you just moved.
And then I moved. It made more sense to have a job versus
than
schooling. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's circle back a bit to when you were a teacher.
Yeah.
So what was the trigger for you when you were a teacher that made you realize I need more money?
I don't know per se, because to be honest with you, I feel like back then my salary was 15,000 naira. I know it's funny.
What year was this?
This was in 2000 and 14. 2014, yes. And it was 15,000 naira, and then I was doing like lesson, you know how you do lesson on the side.
Yeah.
So I did that as well. So total, maybe like 20K, 25K.
I got that.
But to be honest, I was balling.
Because, you're not living in Lagos now.
I wasn't living in Lagos, I was living in Norway. I was still living with my family.
Yeah.
So I wasn't paying rent. So I was just getting money every month without doing anything. And then being a teacher, you don't have all these expenses. I think we're going to talk about them. That you have when you work in corporate. You're not buying new clothes. No one cares the way you look. You know,
Just wear new clothes.
yeah, you're just getting weird. You know, I didn't have a car, so I wasn't spending money on fuel. I would just enter keke and go to work. So I had enough money saved at the end of the month. So it was, I think it wasn't really, it was more of a fear from people in the society, people telling you that things are going to get hard in Nigeria. You have to get ready. It's better for you to get more money. You have a good degree while you're working as a teacher. So I kind of fell into that pressure of like, okay, let me actually go for an opportunity that will give me more money. Yeah.
And do you regret it?
Absolutely. Again, my first day at work, my older brother was driving me to Access because what happened was Access Bank, because I live in Owerri, they posted me to the Owerri branch. So my first day at work, my brother was driving me to the branch and I told him that I don't want to do this stuff. I'm scared.
I'm scared. But you wrote the exam.
I was like, I'm scared. I was like, yeah, it's okay. Like, you understand? I was very happy as a teacher. I really love my kids. Like, why did I, leave that and do this? So, yeah, I definitely, well, I wouldn't say I regret it because it's obviously brought me here, but I feel like, yeah, maybe if times were different, I probably would have done something different. I would have preferred to be a teacher. Because while I was a teacher, teachers but they do have a lot of time, right?
Yeah.
So after 4 o'clock, school is over. So I was already building on stuff, trying to develop apps, edu apps and things like that. So all those stuff had to come to an end when I started working corporate.
But wait, you're studying accounting. How do you know how to develop apps?
I don't know. I think that's why I'm a good solutions architect. Because in as much as I'm not a dev, I understand tech very easily.
Okay.
So yeah, it's just easy for me to I want to build this stuff. I can get people together to do it and just drive that vision. Yeah, so that's how it was. I was working with my friends that were devs at the time.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. And then you started working at the bank. As at then, how much were they paying you?
It was big money at that time. It was 200, again, I know the specifics, 259,435.
Why did you cram it in your head like that?
Because when you get that kind of alert from 50,000, my first salary, I was like, I called everybody, they have paid me. I sent all my family members 50K.
You said all your family members?
Everybody.
50K?
10K, sorry. 10,000. Yeah, so it was a lot of money.
So at least you answered my next question, which was, what do you spend the money on?
Yeah, the first salary, I spent it on people.
So you just started sending?
Yeah, and then I bought a phone, Lenovo. If you ask me why I bought Lenovo, I don't know.
After your first salary and everything, so during your time in Access Bank, were you doing any form of money management or you're just spending it as it comes?
I wasn't. I wasn't doing any money management. I was really spending my money.
As it comes?
Yes, so yeah.
Because I'm guessing as at then you're still living at home.
I was still living at home. I was driving my family's car. So I was just spending money.
Must be nice.
Yeah.
So then if everything was okay, why did you not decide to now move from Access Bank to Bolt then? Yeah,
it was more of just a career change. I was tired. I didn't, at the time, we would talk together my fellow colleagues then. There's no really career prospect as an account manager in a bank.
Yeah, of course. You probably stay as an account manager for a very long time. At some point, if you have good connections, become bank manager.
Exactly. And that's not something that we wanted for ourselves. So, so all of us at that time really wanted to leave that specific job. So I think that was really the motivation.
And then when you moved to Bolt, how was that for you?
It was nice. The salary was... Sorry, it was meant to be better, but Bolt back then has 6 months of probation for Nigerians. So during the probation period, my salary at Access Bank and my salary at Bolt during pre-probation was the same. So there wasn't really an income change.
Yeah.
But after probation, it was meant to become better. but I didn't stay until the provision was over. I left.
You're like, I'm done with it.
Yeah. So I left. It was actually COVID that made me leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it was during COVID time.
I got the job prior to COVID.
Okay.
Yeah.
So based on this, I would assume that you just kept on still spending normally. Then
Yeah.
I would just ask you my next question. At one point, did you start becoming more intentional with your expenses?
That's a good question. I think I had like a life change. There was something that happened that got me in serious debt. And that was almost that boat period as well, which is also one of the reasons that I left the company. Yeah, so I got into a serious financial debt that I couldn't come out of easily. So after I came out of that, I was like, okay, there's this thing where, I don't know, I think it happens to most people, like you earn money and then one day you ask yourself like, wait, what have I actually done with the
This
money?
that
Yeah.
friend, yeah.
So I started having a lot of that, like, wait, oh, I've been earning all this money, I cannot, I don't have anything to show for it. So yeah, after that incident, I was like, okay, I have to be way more conscious with my...
And what did you do eventually to get out of this debt?
Yeah, I just rallied around friends, family. It was more like, yeah, people coming together to help me out, yeah.
How would you...
I also did the quick money, Nigeria.
What's quick
Loan.
Oh, what does it? This is your family members that if family does not pay this loan, they're going to come arrest you. Or...
I did quick loan. I don't remember the name of because the lady was really nice to me.
Yeah.
The account manager, yeah, she was nice to me. I don't remember, but yeah, I took money from one of those agencies as well.
They didn't chase you to come and pay back?
Yeah, so she didn't really chase me. When I couldn't pay, I told her that, I have issues, I can't pay this month. She was like, yeah, no problem. Pay next month, yeah.
Really?
And then thankfully, after that month, I actually just got bulk money and I just paid her off.
Ah, okay, so it was easier for you.
Her name is Amaka.
So she remembers that her name is Amaka and this thing.
Yeah.
And now that you've moved here, how would you say your expenses changed from when you were in Nigeria and when you moved to Netherlands?
Wow. I think me specifically,
Yeah, I'm talking
bills.
about yeah.
Because in Nigeria, I didn't pay a lot of bills because I was living with family.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had to figure out how to pay bills. So I started paying bills when I moved here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how does that feel? Because, people have this assumption like, Fadi is not living abroad. His life is sorted. He has money. All you need to do is just come home and say, you have some. So would you say like, actually that's true or, no, because majority of my money has gone into bills.
Yeah, technically, yes. Majority of my money has definitely gone to bills, specifically rent. But I still feel like we have an edge here due to exchange rate. So the little you can give you can take out from your salary here turns into a lot when you send it back home.
Yeah.
So with that, I feel like we still can maintain our black tax responsibilities.
But then how do you feel about black tax? Because it's a controversial topic depending on who you're asking.
Yeah.
Some people don't understand it.
Yeah.
Don't feel like they need to be subjected to that. Why some people are like, I am pro black tax. And so in your opinion, like, how do you feel about it?
Yeah, I mean, I do understand people that don't want to do it, but I'm very pro black. I mean, yeah, we come from a society where we help each other. I just told you how people helped me come out of a financial situation, right? So it's like, yeah, you give, I give, you give, I give. And also being a Muslim, not to get religious, but like whenever you read the Quran, there's a high chance that you're going to run into like where Almighty Allah is telling people like, this money that I've given you,
give it to someone.
It's always like, whenever I come into those verses, it's always very, very strong. And it's like a strong reminder that, okay, I need to.
You need to do this then.
Yeah.
And at the moment, living abroad and everything, like, how do you, because I find when I first moved, I found it very difficult, like, managing bills, because, when you first receive, like, your first salary, you're like, oh, I have money.
Yeah.
And then you pay your bills, and you're like, where did they go to?
Yeah.
So, like, my question now is, like, how are you able to balance, like, bills with your income and then still having, I don't know if you save or invest. Do you save or invest or do both?
I mostly invest.
Yeah, and how do you now take from like your monthly income? How do you decide what to invest, what to save, and which do you have like a percentage you use? Because I know some people are like, I use a specific percentage to
Yeah.
decide how much I want to spend on
Yeah.
bills and expenses in a month. Then I take the remaining for like my savings and investment. Do you do that as well?
I don't.
That's fine. I
I don't
also
have
don't.
percentage. I have amount. So it's like a specific amount that I know that I would usually like to take out every month. It's not very constant, but I try to take out a specific amount. And I also want to have fun. Like I was thinking about this when I was coming here, like on my bike. Like when you're a teenager, you have a lot of restrictions, or you feel like you have a lot of restrictions. You're like, I cannot wait
To be an
to
adult.
be an adult.
Yeah.
And then you become an adult, and then society begins to give you restrictions. You begin to hear a lot of things like, oh, don't eat chocolate, you're gonna get fat, or don't spend all your money, save. So it's like there's realistically no restrictions, but society has put restrictions on top of your head. And I
Yeah.
try as much as possible not to listen to those
So you try
restrictions.
to
Like
break free.
this is literally the life that I prayed for, in secondary school. So it's my time to actually live without restrictions. So
Yeah.
I don't do like, oh, every month I'm going to do this. Like if it's a month where an opportunity comes, I'm going to travel. Like I'm going to travel, and I'm
Yeah.
happy not to save that month.
Yeah,
But yeah, to answer your question, I don't have like a specific percentage, but yeah, I do have like an amount that I like to take off.
would you
when
like to
possible.
share that, or you'll keep that to yourself?
No, I don't want to get kidnapped when I
Who's
go back to
kidnapping you,
Nigeria.
Fadli? Who's
When I go back to
kidnapping
Nigeria.
who that they kidnap is not you. I'm telling you. Anyway,
I'm kidding. No, they don't kidnap people in Nigeria,
so you
please.
say you invest a lot. What was the first investment you ever made, and how was it for you? How did you do in the investment?
Here,
Maybe in general, it doesn't have to be here.
the first investment I made was in Nigeria.
What did you invest in?
I don't know if you remember when these farm people were.
Farm?
You remember these what they call themselves, farm entrepreneurs or whatever. This is like farmhouse and farm, like you give them money, they'll go and do like poultry farm somewhere in the village in Abeokuta or whatever, and then they'll give you money back when they harvest.
Yeah.
So that was my first investment, and yes, it ended up in Instagram DMs of me begging, please give me my money.
Give my money back.
Give me my money back. And yeah, that's how that one went. It was like, I think 500K.
Yeah.
So it was relatively a lot of money anyways.
And did you end up collecting?
No, it was gone. It was gone. I lost that one.
And how did that change your mindset on investment?
Yeah, it didn't, to be honest. I was like, yeah.
It is what it is.
Because investment is literally a risk, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
What I mean is like, did you also change like the kind of things you're like, I'm going to invest my money in? Like now if somebody comes and says, Fadli, there's this deal, like come and do, I don't know, okay, yeah, most of my kind is the example for you. Or we are rearing cow, come and bring money, we
Yeah.
rear cow and doing salad, this people will buy cow and then you generate your money. Would you be like, oh yeah, come and have my money?
Yeah, I can still do that.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's really, for me, it's just my intuition.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if I feel like I want to do it, I'll do it.
Okay.
Once it's
So
like
you didn't
halal.
learn anything from your last experience?
I didn't learn anything. Basically that. It was actually fun to play. Like I enjoyed like losing money at the time. Obviously, this is coming from privilege because I had the money, but like yeah, it was nice to see like, oh, I invested this and I lost.
I don't know where I got you from. Because only people that have money that will enjoy losing
Yeah,
the
that's
money.
why I said it's very privileged speaking, but
You
yeah.
say like I lost this money, and now you say you do a lot of investments. So now, what would you say majority of your investments are in?
Yeah, definitely ETFs. So I am very risk averse right now. So like we can mention the app, right?
Yeah, sure.
Free promo, Trading 212, and I just buy ETFs from Trading 212, Vanguard, 500 or something. Yeah.
Yeah. And this is what it's an app you use, right?
Yes, Trading 212. Yes.
I use Digiro.
Yeah.
I don't know if it makes any difference. Well,
Yeah, I don't think it does.
And have you ever actually invested in anything because it was trending and you had like FOMO?
No, that's one thing you will never catch me. Like I don't fall for the trends when it comes to those kind of things. No.
Even cryptocurrencies?
I've never done crypto. once I don't understand something, I'm not going to put my money in it. So that if I lose the money, I don't feel bad. Yeah, so I only invest, like I like agriculture, that's why I did that one. Now ETFs are comfortable and I've read about them and I understand them. So that's why I do ETFs, which, the halal stance of ETF is still
It's still
neither this nor that, but yeah.
So you're like, I'm still going to
I'm
do
still
that.
going to do that either way, but yeah. So yeah.
That's fair. Do you have like a financial superstition or ritual that you have? Because I know someone that's like every time she receives money, she takes part of it first for sadaka, like give to the poor and this
Yeah.
thing. With the hope that more is going to come.
Yeah.
And this thing, like
Course.
of course, like it's not as if you can find like a scientific backing or this thing, but it's like a ritual she just has like this is what I want to do or something. So yours doesn't have to exactly be like that, but like is there like a superstition that you have like when you have money, I want to do this or when you want to invest or something?
I don't think I have superstitions, but like whenever I want to buy something frivolous, like I want to buy a new shirt,
Yeah.
I feel guilty.
That's not a ritual.
So it's not a ritual per se, but it's just like, it's a feeling that I want to buy, like I recently bought like, what they call this thing that cooks rice cooker.
Why
Basically.
do you know I've been wanting to buy rice cooker, but the Nigerian in me is like
Your mom is
you
going
have
to
pots.
slap you. Exactly. So I used pot for a very long time. That's basically the same thing. Like I'm always feeling like, but my own this thing is always like there is somebody that will need that. Like why instead of buying this thing that you don't really need, why don't you give the money out? That kind of thing. So I always feel bad. Like somebody is in my ear telling me that there's people that are dying in Gaza right now and you want to go and buy new jeans.
Do you think it has to also do like, because you said something earlier, you're like, you tried to tell yourself that, one of the things I wanted when I was a teenager, I wanted to have freedom and this thing to do things myself or stuff like that. But if you had that mindset, is that not a way for you also like following what society wants you to follow, like give more, do this, do that?
Yeah.
And that's why you're also having guilty conscience for spending on yourself.
Yeah, that's also possible.
It's also possible, right? Yeah, to be honest, when I'm spending on myself, I don't have guilty conscience. I feel very happy. I'm like, I worked for this money. I deserve it. I need it. I want it.
That's nice because so what I started doing recently, 2-3 years ago is I plan for it. So like, let's say I want to buy a new, I want to buy a new jeans. I'm not going to go and buy it now. I'll just wait until like when I'm on vacation or something like that. So when I go on vacation with people and then they see me shopping, they'll be like, this boy just spending anyhow. It doesn't have restriction. They don't know that in my mind, I already knew that I'm going to buy this, but I wanted to buy it in a place where it's going to feel like
less guilty.
Not less guilty, but like it's going to feel more spontaneous.
Oh.
So I'll actually enjoy the shopping spree. But that shopping spree is actually planned.
It was a plan.
Because
How was that in this thing?
I've been holding myself back from, it's kind of like weird, but yeah.
Have you ever made any financial mistake before?
Yeah, I told you. Invested in farm.
Apart from the farm, you never could tell you what to invest in. Because that one, you didn't learn anything from it. So I want one that was a financial mistake and then you learned a valuable lesson that sticks to your head after that.
Well, yeah, I think one, maybe like always actually, so when you have money, do something with it, something meaningful with it, And I think where that's coming from was by the time when I was working at Access Bank, I really can't tell you what I use my money for. I can only remember buying car. That's the only thing I can remember I actually spend my money on that. I bought a car. The rest of the time, it was just to come to the office. I'll just buy like 5 cornflakes for everybody to have like breakfast.
I don't understand.
This was kind of like weird things where it's like,
I said I don't understand.
Yeah, and then I'll buy instead of me to go and eat my own lunch, I'll say, everybody, let's go and eat lunch,
You still do it though.
I think I still do it.
Yeah, you still do things like that.
Yeah.
You still, even till now, I don't think you learned any lesson. Even till now, you still do that. That's nice. You do like some random film. Like, why is it like this is so unnecessary? I think you just want to. I don't think it has to do with. I don't think I'll classify it for you under lesson. I'll think it's just your personality. Like you try to make people comfortable. I don't know. I don't think you are comfortable with an uncomfortable situation.
I actually disagree. I'm very comfortable with, like, I like awkward silences. Like, okay. You know, like, there's some people that will see you and they'll just be saying, like, they'll start hailing you. That is one of the Nigerian traits that I dislike. Like, somebody will just see, they'll be like, instead of the person to just be normal, like, you don't have to, like, be adding ad-libs. Like, just be cool, right? So, yeah, I don't mind uncomfortable situations, but I do see your point. I think it's a personality thing where I feel like I want everybody's, like, my number one hobby is a good time. Like, when people ask me, like, what's your hobby? I'm like, I
want
like
to have
to
a good
chill.
time, yeah.
So any means necessary to make that good time possible, I'll do it. So to me, spending money on a good time is not a waste of money.
Yeah.
I think that's just the way I would say it. And I like inviting people to my house. I want people to come and eat. Like, let's just chill. Let's just talk about life. Let's watch a movie. And it's so difficult to have that in this country, by the way. But in Nigeria, it was way more easier.
Yeah.
And everybody was everybody was happy to spend.
Why do you think it's difficult in this country?
Man, like, Europe has a way of just boxing you in. Like, you can come here with your personality, but bro, the culture here is too strong that most people just break. I think, Maryam, you're an exception because you have really been like, you know, I feel like you've not really, like, fallen into, like, the European lifestyle. But, like, most people come here and it's like, somebody that normally in Nigeria, you would invite them out. If you tell a person to come and chill at your place, they would see, like, I don't know whether I'm going to be comfortable. I'm like, bro, like, come to my house. Like, don't be thinking that I'm going to, like,
kidnap you.
like, you know? So I feel like, yeah. I think that's why it's difficult. People feel like once they are here, they don't want to disturb somebody.
Yeah.
You don't want
I think
to, like,
also it depends on, like, the kind of people, like, you surround yourself with. Like, for example, like, I don't think I've had a situation where I've had something in my house and I invite people and then there's someone that's told me I can't make it. Or something like that. Like, and sometimes I can even do, like, last minute, like 2 days before. Like, I don't think about it because I'm also, like, kind of like I can just be lying there in my house. Maybe it's like Thursday or Friday. I'm thinking, it's the weekend. What am I doing? I don't have anything. So I'm like, oh, let's ask people around. And I just ask, like, people around and they're like, oh yeah, sure, come, this and this. So I also think it depends. And also it depends, like, if I'm mostly around Nigerian people, to be honest.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, and it also depends on who your Nigerian people hang out with. So if you have a lot of Nigerians that have, like, also, like, international friends, especially, like, maybe Dutch friends, sometimes they have to plan their outing in advance. So which means the day you are not saying you want to go out, maybe they plan that date with their other friend, like, a month or 2 months ago. So now it's clashing or something. So sometimes, like, it's like a lot of things that can play because you're in another country, so there's no way, like, cultures will not clash with each other.
I agree. The culture clash is real. And I also feel like most of my friends here, Nigerian friends here, they are in the stage of their life where it's time to figure things out. So people are not they're no longer, like, open to, like, the way we were in Nigeria, where you can just, 25 years old, you're 24, like, you know, I don't mind. But now people are, like, thinking of more time to marry you.
Yeah, but then marriage is not going to come from sleeping in your house.
Yeah, exactly. Like, thank you.
Like, outings
like,
like
you have
this,
to go out to actually see people,
like
right?
It's like, because if you're having something in your house and then invite different kind of people, like, you also, like, meet someone that you like around you or something.
Yeah.
So I do agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. You were talking about your house and this thing. Do you have, like, any big purchase you've done, like, this past year?
In my house, or just generally?
In general, like, have you done any big purchase?
Let me think. I know that there's something that I bought that is still pinning me, but I'm trying to remember it.
Is it the house you bought?
No. The house, buying a house, oh God, that's also haram. Because I'm paying mortgage, but yeah. Buying a house so I can't say it's good because let me just keep quiet. I wanted to say that it was a good buy, but yeah.
No, it depends. Okay, I would ask you this question in case you feel guilty for saying it's a good buy. Why did you decide to stop renting? Like, what made you decide from renting to, okay, I want to buy a house instead and get a mortgage?
It was a very, very calculated financial decision. I had, like, a full Excel sheet where I checked, like, how much am I going to be paying in mortgage every month versus rent.
Yeah.
And the delta in that decision was that my company would take care of my transportation because I live a bit further than where we were living before.
Yeah.
So knowing that my company would cover my transportation was what's like, okay, I can go for this. But if my company wasn't covering my transportation, I'll be spending more than living closer to Amsterdam. So I
that
wouldn't
was
have.
like the
That was like
biggest
the biggest difference. Yeah. So
Okay.
right now I'm paying less than I was paying as rent.
Okay, and do you think that paid off for you?
Yeah, I think so. Financially, yes, I'm paying less.
Yeah, and the mortgage than when you were
Yeah.
doing real rent.
Yeah, yeah.
No, that sounds valid, because yeah, I've not really thought about buying house much. Maybe I'll start putting it on my
Yeah.
on my distance. I don't know why. Like, I think it's like this Nigerian mentality. Like, oh, I'm young, should I be buying a house now or something like that?
Yeah. I think most Nigerians here are rushing to. I think we've had this conversation before. Like
Yeah, I
most
think
Nigerians
they're
just
like
come here and they're like,
like,
let's go and buy a house, you know.
yeah, like
And the natives here, the Dutch and also like other Europeans that I work with, they're always shocked.
to say that you bought a house.
Yes, they're like, why are you buying a house? Are you married?
Yeah.
You know, like it's to them is a very long-term
Commitment. Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
it's not
That's how
something
I
that
feel
you should
about
just
it.
do and then sell a year after.
Yeah.
You know, so they are
Because
also very.
if you buy a house now, at least you know you're committed to it for at least 3 years.
Yeah.
Before you can even do
Yeah.
anything with it.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And what was I going to say? Did you save towards buying the house? Because I know that you did mortgage, but I know like there's some cost that has to come like from you as well. Did you save towards buying the house?
Technically, I didn't have to because my expenses were very low. I didn't use an agent. The house was already ready to move in, so there was no renovation required. So I technically didn't spend money, a lot of money.
So you didn't need to.
Yeah, I didn't need to like
use any
save up
savings
money for
or
it.
this
Yeah,
kind
I think my total expenses was like 3K. Yeah,
You sound like someone that has a budget. Do you have a budget?
I don't have a
monthly
budget. That's the one thing I know I will never do.
Why?
Nah, it's too restricting.
What do I
I
say?
don't have a budget.
Do you know like that's the misconception about budgeting?
Oh, really?
That it's restricting, because I don't know, you're forgetting that you are making the budget. So you are telling yourself.
That's the problem. So, Maryam, now, if I make the budget and I fail and I don't follow the budget, I feel bad.
Do you know even companies don't follow their budget?
But I don't want to feel
like they spend
it
more.
makes me feel like I'm not disciplined if I make a budget and I don't
Because
follow
you're
it.
supposed to make a reality. Do you know what makes me laugh when people are making budget? Like, before you make a budget, you're supposed to look at the trend of your past expenses. So let's say you're the kind of person that you already know that for rent you pay 1,800.
Yeah.
Let's for example. All of a sudden you're making your budget, you're putting 1,300. How now? Like, are you moving, or you already like every month you spend 500 euros on food, like based on like what previous month.
Yeah.
All of a sudden you're putting 300 euros. Like, how? Like, people think like budgets, like people create budgets like it's their ideal, like what I want it to be. But budget's supposed to be like according to your current situation.
But if it's that way, then I don't need a budget because I don't usually have like spikes, like my monthly expenses, because I track my monthly expenses at the end of the month.
So how do you track if you don't have a budget? Because that's why you need a budget to like track the month.
No, I track every month. I sit down 1 hour, open all my apps.
Oh, okay.
I list them. I literally have an Excel that shows month on month how much I've spent, so and I can see the trend, and it's like almost like a flat line. So it's usually the same unless I do like a travel or something.
No, I understand. So if you have all this data, like what is the difference between that? All you need to just do just
forecast. But budget is pre now.
No, I'm saying if you have all this data, then you can easily just forecast what your future is going to be like, since it's stable anyways.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm able to say that I will take out this money at the end of the month and invest it. Yeah, so I have an idea of how much I spend.
That makes a lot of sense. I just have one more question for you before I go. Actually, I have 2 questions in my mind, but I can only ask you one because of time. So let me decide which one real quick. Okay. How do you determine the true value of a purchase before spending money on it?
What kind of purchase?
Any. Let's say, for example, a big purchase.
Like?
Let's say you want to buy a car. You're thinking about buying a car. So how do you think, is this worth it? Should I do it? How do you determine whether I should go for it or not. For example, when you did your house, you were thinking like you did like the cost analysis between mortgaging or renting, and you found out like, okay, it's still cheaper for you after you found out like a company was going to cover the transport. So like usually like what do you think about like the value of this thing before you purchase, before you spend money on it?
I don't know. So if it's a frivolous spending, I honestly don't think about it.
Of course, you don't think about frivolous spending.
But if it's a huge spend like a car or I want to renovate something in my house, I usually just get people's opinion like on Reddit. Reddit is like my Google. So get people that have done something previously and like, okay, how much did you guys spend? And then I do like an average.
Yeah.
I think that's how I normally do that. Yeah.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So I said that was the final question from me, but the previous guest that was here asked you a question.
Who?
I don't need to share with that one.
Is that like a game that you guys play? Like the last guest was asking like
No, that's not the game.
So this is very specific.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask you. Don't worry, don't be scared.
The question is even written down.
Yeah. What is something you can spend the most money on?
That's an easy question. My family.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, like I would spend my whole money.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm just curious, out of all your like expenses, what's that one thing you feel like I can't remove? Like to other people, they're like, "Father, this does not make any sense," but to you, like, this is so important, I can never remove it on your monthly.
So for monthly, food. There's some kind of food that I need in my life.
Like, I might not spend money on anything else but food. Very important.
Yeah, very important. I need to make sure that I'm having good food.
Okay, that's nice. Anyway, so we've gotten the final part of the show. So we play a game.
Okay.
And I call it this or that.
Okay. Is it, what's it called? Fast fire questions?
Rapid fire.
Rapid fire.
Yeah. So I'll ask you 5 questions and then you can tell me what you...
This or that.
Yeah, exactly. So the first one, cashback or travel points?
Cashback.
You talk about it and you're like, oh, cashback. Okay, traditional bank or online bank?
Online bank.
Okay. Big monthly shopping or small weekly shops?
Small weekly.
Lease a car or buy a car?
Buy a car.
Okay. Fixed mortgage rate or variable mortgage rate?
Fixed.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was actually very fast.
Yeah.
Yes. And the last thing for you to do is...
Give me a gift.
Sure.
Okay.
You also get to sign your name here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And also ask the next guest, whoever that might be.
Oh, a question.
A question.
Why did you just tell me that?
That's a question. Why would I tell you? What's the fun in that?
How do you open this your pen?
Just open it normally. The way you open that pen.
I should just sign, right?
Yeah, you can say Paddy was here.
Oh, I'm not doing all that. Damn.
Great. At the end of the show, I always allow my guests to sign out on my behalf.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, you do the honors.
Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. I hope you learned something about our lives and how we manage money. And we hope to see you in the next episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your family and friends. Thank you very much.